Yeah.
They finally eventually found it, led it to, it was, and it was in some bad shape.
Bailed
Bailed out.
And the other one.
Over there, and they called it, destroyed the plane in the ocean, dropped it to the ocean.
Great St. Pete.
And then
Yeah.
My dad, and it's very likely they. Yeah, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
I like the story of the.
Yeah. And that way then.
Yeah.
I don't know, anyway, it's 10 hours.
With nurses on board.
Well,
Yeah, so what kind of training were they doing?
Yeah.
They were bored by it. So,
And Thursday night.
Yeah.
That was what my father's job was. Prior to work, he worked out in
Yeah.
Long Island. And he was on the design team for the 2017 Hall tournament.
Interesting, the B-17 Voltron was fixed. The B-24 was only.
Yeah.
Normal flight, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, formation for the pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll call our base here. Michael Fritz is not here. Greg Wallen's here, Allison's here, Derek Rose is here, David Eggert's here, Steve Guy here, the mayor, Corey, is not here.
Yeah, in Mexico.
She's going in. Pamela Stevens is here, the engineer. Amanda, our secretary, is here. The reverend is here, Warren's here, and our solicitor is not here. She got called in to backfill for someone that they, that was, already had a backfill, but then the backfill got sick. So she's like, you know, the third stringer, had to go there, because they were probably needed a solicitor at that point. Yeah, so anyway, little background for everybody. Council minutes before you, you see our minutes from May 9, 2024. Are there any additions, corrections, clarifications? Can the minutes be approved as presented? Motion to approve minutes as presented. Second. Motion been moved and seconded to approve the May 9th minutes as presented. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passed. Approval and payment of bills. Before you, you'll see a consolidated bill payments for as of June 12th. You'll see from the general fund, we're gonna have $92,548.62 out. Sewer fund, $12,927.91 out. Liquid fuel, $7,497.86 out. Fire tax fund, $8,000 out. EMS tax fund, $7,000 out. Sir, a motion to approve consolidated payment of bills as read and presented. So moved. Second. Motion been moved and seconded to pay the bills as presented. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passed. Approval of treasurer's report. So at some point, we're going to accept and file for audit consolidated treasurer's report for May 2024. Our finances are right now general fund $690,606.16. Liquid fuels is $287,094.54. Fire tax $13,998.19. EMS tax fund, $8,547.57. Sewer fund, $200,932.69. And the reserve account, $194,830.84.
Motion accept file for the consolidated treasury report.
Second. Motion moved and seconded to accept and file for audit consolidated treasury report. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Public comment, Do we have any, remotely, so we'll move on, if someone has a question later on, we'll circle back to that. Consultants reports, Borough Engineer.
Up on the screen.
Yeah, there's one back here, one over there.
Presentation on the one on the right, we have the smart TV explainable 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so not that one.
The remote is on.
Yeah, great.
Maybe a little background.
The Borough Engineer, you want to go to the background, yeah?
Hold on. Let me just put the chart. Well, this is in the package, right? Now, yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's in here.
I think that's the easiest thing to do, that's our handle, or, I was going to approached by the owner of the shopping center about signage, all the different streets, the existing signage that's there is pretty archaic, and also the storefronts are being rehabilitated, so at the same time, they'd like to do all the facade signs instead of applying for variance each time that an occupant would like to get into the street. I was having a hard time explaining to people why they had a limitation of the size of the sign. And I recommended to the person who was working on the signage part of it, that the best thing that they could do would be to do a master sign plan, get all the approvals up front for width of unit and size of sign. It only made sense, it makes their life easier, my life easier, and anybody who would go to rent who wants something different, they would have to go to the zoning hearing board to get a variance on whatever size sign that they were seeking that didn't meet the standard. Right, so for the future, what we were discussing is the size or the width of the frontage of the different streets. And depending on the tenant, sometimes they take 2 suites of a smaller size and convert it into a larger frontage. So that, if that conversion happens, then a larger sign, which makes sense for the occupant, to market their business or whatever service they're providing. So that is why we created this table initially, and then when we got to the planning commission had even more suggestions of providing some additional ranges of size of signs in case suites that we didn't think were going to enjoy were also within this range of a potential variance approval from the zoning hearing board with the council support of this concept. So it does make life easier for the borough. It saves them a lot of money. As you know, conditional uses, special exceptions, and variances, the borough always loses money. They cannot recoup because of the modalities. They can't recoup all the expenses. Thousands of dollars come on if something is continued as well. So the borough has to pay for their own attorney, and all of the advertising, and not the zoning hearing board, so it starts adding up. So if we can work with the shopping center as our huge, commercial venue, and getting this some flexibility for signage in the future, we all win. They get to market their business, the borough saves money, we get more people into the shopping center. And the other thing is, the shopping center is so far back from St. Lawrence, and you can't really see the signs. So we will also want to update what they call the pylons, which are the large, 50, 60-foot high pylons that I'll call them the large businesses there, Brady and Dollar General. Dollar General would be the main signage, and then all the other little signs would be typically on that, but it would be all uniform, so you have it on that. And that is what pretty much their sign is not increasing in size. So that is pre-existing anyway.
I just think that we gave them a little bit more flexibility to, enlarge that, just in case they did. From 300 square feet to 400 square feet maximum, I mean, that's what maximum for all of that signage. But the big thing to take away tonight is the maximum zoning size for any of the businesses who have the shopping center out on the front is 10 square feet. Let me repeat that, 10 square feet. So that's like a 2-foot by 5-foot sign. You can't see anything. I mean, if you can, you've got great sight. Normally, you cannot see that. As well as when you enter the shopping center, 10 square feet is still difficult because you're going up the main travel lane. So again, we think this is a great concept. The planning commission fully supported it. I like the discussion we had with the planning commission for more flexibility. That was fantastic for it. I think we're the instigator of that continued range discussion. That was fantastic. And as we have looked at it, we think it's a great idea.
And people who, I sent this to First Tech, which is the company that's working on the signage for them, and they were flabbergasted.
That we gave them a little more.
Well, no, they were flabbergasted, because Pamela created this
Oh, okay.
spreadsheet. And they just kind of put their thing here, but that it was laid out in this fashion. They could understand the concept. They're planning to put all the sign boxes in. So we're talking about for zoning wise, somebody moving in there to put a sign in, all they have to do is fill out a commercial zoning permit and say, changing sign face only. Because everything will be installed that needs permits, which are the light boxes, the electrical, the whole setup. So it's just a sign face change for somebody to move in.
The only thing is if somebody does combine 2 suites, the sign.
They could.
Yeah, the sign box could be taken down. Yeah,
Yeah,
One space on the way to the.
but they don't have to go through variance, they just have to get the permit.
They just have to get the permits to do it,
And a building
permit and electrical, yeah.
Is it typical in sign ordinances to give signage, square footage on 2 sides of a building? A side beyond the front,
typically not.
so like for the laundromat, because it's on an end,
That's on the.
Right. so that's sort of my question, and on the other side, probably no one would put one up on that corner, because it's gonna be against the hill. So is there a reason to let non-conforming exist until a change in tenant occurs?
I would say so.
So we could say then, it's an existing sign, it's not conforming. However, if the tenant changes,
If it's-
that side sign is not compliant with our ordinance. Is that correct?
If it changes away from a laundromat to a different use.
Yeah,
If this laundromat, people sell it and it's another laundromat.
comes a barber shop, the barber shop would not be allowed to have the side
Right.
sign, correct? Does that make sense to anybody else or don't care?
So we would have to
Yeah.
make sure that.
The sign on the side doesn't really bother me,
But I'm worried about other things, yeah, down the road, someone's on a corner, they're gonna say, oh, I should be able to get 2 fronts, 2 sides. So I'm sort of worried about that.
Yeah.
And technically, you already get 2 sides, you're getting a pie sign.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I would suggest if it's, if council has no heartburn, that the non-conforming side sign is, unless a business changes usage or whatever the correct term is, then it would be considered not available.
So, you know.
They could either leave it dark, they could just put a blank across it, but they couldn't. Correct, and they wouldn't have to remove it per se. No,
If it's there, they will want.
So then you might as well say it has to be removed then, all right?
Yeah, I mean, I think technically that's, yeah, that's.
So that could be part of their motion, that you would, if you so desire to recommend something to the zoning hearing board to support the concept with that condition.
Dumb this down to me. Cause I don't know if I could follow.
Okay.
And I think, just studying it, if he's kind of giving you like what I'm looking at here, or whatever, just, I mean, I get the idea of what we're doing, but I have to understand it a little better. Right.
Sure. So for example, this tenant here is wide enough to have a 2.6 by 10 foot. That's a 25 square foot tenant because of the width.
Okay.
So if you look at the street width, and you find the range on the far side, the right-hand side, 25 square foot sign can be for a suite width of 13.51 feet to 29 feet. So this suite is created between but less than 29, so it can be 20, it can have 25 square feet of signage here. And then the 15 foot, it's the lot small enough to, where is the 17 and a half? Right. So that would, it falls into the 17 and a half. Right. And then Warren and planning commission has done with the 50, the 75, and 100, not more than 75 and 100. There were two more categories added.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, to give it more flexibility. So, you get into then this suite width is 34 feet. So it goes into the next category of 50 square foot, so that the sign fits the size of the facade.
And I'll be a example of this, this store is actually broken down that it could be, what about now, 30?
There is 5 phases, 5 phases. So this is, there's 5 phases that are going to happen in the frontage.
Okay, all right,
Okay, so
got it.
the addresses go
Very quick.
from, phase 5 down to then the lower addresses of phase 1. Does that help?
Yeah, no, that's good, right, you said that, and that's put it back. I got it, awesome.
What's the time frame from start of phase 1 to end of phase 5?
They pulled permits for all of it. They pulled permits to do the whole facade. Just, yeah, I think that they were just looking to see how everything was going, and at this point, they have, it is either one partner who is taking over and is throwing his money into it, or he bought out the other part. And he is spending it's probably closing in on 2 million at this point of what is being spent or more on the shopping center. They already did, 5 units. They did a vanilla fit out, which means that they're ready to go with minor changes to the inside when somebody wants to rent it.
They must think they're gonna get tenants.
Well, with all the work they're doing, well, who would have wanted to rent anything before? They would come with some contract or some design. It would take 5 months just to get the design approved because they never were compliant. And then get the contractor in, and then they were always going with whoever was the cheapest contractor, and they would drop out, and the new contractor would be in. And by then, the tenant's walking away because it's a year later and they're still not in.
Should there be some sort of end date on this, if approved, that all the phases need to be done within 6 months, 12 months?
Typically, your zoning hearing, I think it's, they have a year to start the construction, is that right?
But to end,
And then I believe it's 1 more year, if not, they need to request an extension. So I would would say it's 2 years would be your max, absolute max. And 1,000 there on the permit, and I don't, they're even gonna push the 2 years.
Yeah, I don't, this guy is, he's actually been here numerous times. And had somebody out in New Jersey working this as the project manager, so. This is a serious renovation. From many different facets. Well, it would be a very large plus to get some type of decent action going on in the shop.
Well, if you beautify it. So, you could walk you through the day or do things, around the shopping center,
Yeah,
and sell.
Is there any other question?
You mentioned about the lawyer having non-conforming sign. File. Here it says phase 5, front and side.
I know, they can put the new sign up as long as it's a laundromat. But if the laundromat tenant leaves, the side sign no longer is available to the new tenants, how I'm sort of phrasing. If council's in agreement.
they have front and side for the upper end. That's where Marina's was 28.
So 30
Yeah.
And 30, it's on the opposite end.
28, 9, yeah, front and side.
Front.
Yeah. Listen, I'm just looking down the future when someone comes in and says, how come I can't have a sign on the side of my building because I'm on a corner? And we go, because the sign ordinance doesn't let you. And he goes, well, laundromat has a sign. Said, well, it was not conforming, if it ever changes, sign goes for it. That's
So
all.
there's only one other corner, and that corner, who ever.
No, I'm at another building. Oh, you know, if someone sells a building on a corner, you can, you know. Right, exactly. You know, I'm not trying to target anybody, particular church, you know.
We don't have. Let's find out something.
There's our motion to accept the shopping center sign design packet with the addendum that the existing side sign is non-conforming and would lose its exemption upon change of tenant, other than its use now, and that the other side of the building is no sign is actually allowed.
That's not what I heard before. I heard no change in use.
Okay, right,
Not tenant.
okay, that's correct, usage. So. There's motion, I'll motion that. Right.
You're endorsing the plan to recommend.
Right.
Hearing board approval.
Right. Yeah, we just sort of confirming, you know, our understanding is it's all done. Second. Motion been moved, seconded, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes.
Okay, floodplain. The planning commission, we had a great meeting discussing the floodplain last month. They said they have no life like me, so they didn't mind me in July, so I will later this month too. Right, so, that is stuff. So I have all the revisions done, the planning commission has recommended. And so, sending it to Amanda and Allison, and they'll, coordinate the planning commission, to then meet, June 26th, did I get that right, Lauren? When last Wednesday?
Yeah, it's last, not fourth or fourth.
Fourth Wednesday.
And then I expect, planning commission will recommend that the board would consider bringing the floodplain forward to Leslie Road, to do the official finessing that she does for free, and then it can go back to her, to that probably advertise and move forward to adoption of the revised floodplain. Yeah,
I'm sorry,
that's what.
can you help, you understand who's Leslie Rhodes? Is she with the municipal?
Leslie Road is
Campaign municipal.
Yes.
career she is.
And she does the rebalance of the floodplain ordinances for food. So she did it for her, she actually does, over the year, make sure it's not what's for things that.
Yeah, she's certified by the state.
What is the municipal, league, Pennsylvania Municipal League? Is it a nonprofit or is it a quasi-government agency?
I've dealt with her for years, she's always been in the floodplain on
Yeah,
a model ordinance role in various agencies, created her job, so Alice and I have dealt with it, so I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm like that, sorry, we were talking about her, like, we can know her. I apologize for that. She'll, finesse everything and then she's back.
yeah. If she puts a stamp of approval on it, then that's the state stamp of approval that it is okay to go to adopt.
So that's the update with the floodplain.
On our floodplain ordinance, is it all based on FEMA elevations or FEMA maps?
Basically,
Is there a way to, contest the elevations if you bring in your own surveyor or to provide elevations?
yes, you can call a floodplain elevation. And it's a form that is issued by FEMA or the NFIP for the federal regulations. And it's our registered engineer or registered surveyor must complete the form, tie into a proven benchmark for the monument that is tied to the previously now 88 kingdom.
A4?
Anyway, it's whatever FEMA is.
Is that our monument on the bridge?
Yes. Municipality that they can find it. So then they can, certify that their first floor elevation is a foot and a half above the floodplain elevation. Or especially if it's, zone A, but we have one in zone A, so it would be a true three-color elevation. But we did put in, I believe, if there are any zone A, ones that we create the hydraulic profile. I think they had to be 3 feet above, the calculated elevation done by a hydro study. So, because we can't, it's a study that's not done by FEMA or done by FEMA. We're requesting that.
Just to give you all perspective, New Jersey dictated last year, whatever the floodplain elevation is, New Jersey now says it's plus 2 feet. Based on Sandy and everybody else. So whatever you were doing before or thought, they themselves now say land development and things like that, stormwater now all have to be 2 foot higher than everything else. So things are sort of changing in certain places.
And things will maybe eventually change for us with floodplain if they ever review the monument.
They're 2012, so we're very frustrated that after this massive storm by July, that we heard nothing. So that's why when Bob is pointing that out about New Jersey, we just had a consideration of planning position level to insert that. And if you want to go higher than a foot and a half, that's your call. The 18 inches is a nominal amount for a residential structure to be elevated above the base flood elevation.
We do not have very many properties that are affected by Mulmer, but it'll be too late anyway
Post on.
because he's already in the next building. So,
Need any action from us on stormwater complaint?
No, I just
Okay.
wanted to update you, it's forthcoming, so I just want to leave with plan commissioner, we can move forward. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you so much
You're welcome.
for all your help. Solicitor's not here, and, did she leave us anything? Okay. Mayor is not here, so there's no report, so we'll go down to zoning, local codes, do you have anything to report for code?
Yeah.
Public safety, emergency management,
Nothing for emergency.
how about the volunteer service tax credit program? Which is under your,
The bold, they're all bold on that.
yeah.
I mean, I'll make a motion, to accept certified list of volunteers, meet eligibility requirements, volunteer service tax credit.
Yeah, so we have this report, and we all see this, it was in the packet.
It's not in the packet.
Okay.
The totals are there, so I'll make the motion to accept the certified list of volunteers and authorize ordinance 448, authorize release of money from the following funds: general fund, earned income taxes of $1,444, and real estate tax of $1,361.65. From the fire tax fund, real estate tax of $132.28 for the refund.
Okay. Motion been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed. Motion passed.
And I'll make a further motion to authorize individual payments of the 2023 volunteer service tax credit as following: Stephen Bentley, $1,126.20, Stephen Geibel, $727.98, Gil Morissette, $423.09, Tyler Weisweimer, $660.67.
There a second? Second. Motion been moved and seconded. All those in favor to authorize the individual payments, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, abstained. Next, public works, sewer, streets, stormwater, et cetera. We have our JP Mascaro trash contract option year 2025. This will be our final option year at an annual cost of $181,624.80, which is a per household price of $273.12 for weekly pickup, unlimited large size item pickup, stuff like that.
It includes recycling.
Yeah, recycling, sorry.
I'll move to exercise the extension,
For the scare.
final option here at the annual cost of $181,624.80.
Second. Motion been moved and seconded to extend the trash contract for the final option year of 2025. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passed.
And an update, mascara already
There,
I'm telling you, they love municipal contracts.
Yeah.
They go, they take up everything, they send out the rookies, they get one check within 30 days. They said they highly review any back comments from municipal contracts. So, street project 2024. Do we have a motion to adopt resolution 894/2024 for a price adjustment of bituminous materials, for an escalator clause on pricing for small quantities as required by PennDOT?
make a motion to adopt resolution 894/2024, price adjustment of bituminous materials.
Second. Motion moved and seconded for the resolution for the price adjustment of bituminous materials. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passed. We're also looking to authorize an advertisement of the 2024 seal coat project with sealed bids to be open on July 11th. Is this asking for quantities or for them to actually do it?
There's a $75 back budget for seal coating, microsurfacing on Third Borough Street, Adams Street, Pine Avenue, Parky Road, Ranch Street, Prospect Street. Basically, it's a seal, it's a bullshit application covered by slurry. That's the first, they should have a couple. Yeah. This time,
No, budget was October.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Beyond our memory.
Yeah, the chart, yeah, the chart of the borough showing what's being done well. Okay, I'll, move to authorize advertising for the 2024 seal coat project.
Motion been moved and seconded to authorize advertisement for the 2024 seal coat project. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Question, clarification?
Clarification. Motion's fine, it's just, I think you're only gonna get one bid.
I'm gonna try to get multiple. I'm gonna try to,
AMS seems to have cornered that market.
I know there's another company in Langston named Martin, I don't need to be slurry, there's another one in Jersey that I've heard of.
I think it's only a small maintenance solution from what we're seeing over bids that we put out. Martin excels at oil and chip. I do not think that they may not be PennDOT certified to do the Cape seal. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood, if you get one bid, that's normal, it's normal for this area. Don't be concerned, except if they gave you a budget under, and they'll, fax that.
I know I talked with some other municipalities, what numbers they receive, so if our numbers are way out of proportion, well.
Yeah, we'll take a good look at it.
I just wanted to make sure.
And we'll be up on July 11th when we'll discuss them at the following meeting.
The meeting that night.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
The other thing is, are you doing the fog seal and then the other dead ends?
You're silly, Bob.
Just Kate.
Fog, it's not fog.
Just,
Okay, keep that in mind when you do it in the future, and because there's not enough traffic to get everything in. At the cul-de-sacs, they do this sealant that helps, keep these stones from washing. And so
I think the only two roads concerned would be Pine Avenue and Adams Street. I think we're all even doing double checks on it.
yeah, it's fine, it's just the amount of traffic, so you may need to take your Bobcat and just try it.
We'll send a man out.
So these are just some comments from our experience with the Cape Seal. I love it. We love the product. It actually does a very nice job compared to oil and chip for these kind of streets.
I like the price, so.
Well, it is a great price too. So,
You wanna get a host of, comments back from the public, go back to oil and chip.
oh my gosh.
I can remember some 30 years ago. Anyway, Romax, you want to update us on the LSA grant, Bobcat?
Before we get into that, I do want to say I do have a report in the packet in case anyone wants to look at that. The LSA grant Bobcat, we did receive some of the equipment from the LSA grant. Bobcat was sitting outside the door and looking at the back door, that is the Borough machine, so that is ours for the foreseeable future. We also received the sweeper and the bucket with that. Next week, we're, scheduled to get the excavator attachment for that machine. And then
Like a backhoe excavator, right?
backhoe excavator, and then the paper jet, which is a paper, machine that goes on the front of that to help putting in patches. Will arrive the 24th, and then our roller is supposed to arrive the 24th. That's all from that section of the elevator. The truck grant, everything was ordered and is slated to arrive between September and November.
Which is good, because then we can get our money back from the state, so that we have money.
And then we can close the,
And so we need a motion to authorize two payments for the vendors, for the equipment that, to be delivered here in the next 30 days.
We already have the first set of equipment, the second payment is for the other piece that is coming next week. So that takes care of the one, and then, I might have spelled page yet, on paper.
Do you want to take these all out of general fund as compared to capital reserve?
We have no checks to write for capital reserve fund. The capital reserve fund had enough to change, which we moved the money to cover the Crown Stone, payments of 110,000 total between the two. And we're gonna have to do the pay jet out of our own
General fund.
general fund, which we do have the money. Once the check's clear, we can submit for refund from the state, which they said should take 2 to 3 weeks for them to do the payment, but no more than 30 days.
So we're sort of taking money out of the capital reserve to write a check out of the general fund, then when we reimburse it, when we get reimbursed from the LSA.
And then we'll turn around and do it again.
Do it all over again.
Let the truck go.
When the truck comes.
I'll make a motion to authorize payment to Coast Guard vendor Crownson Equipment invoice 01 whiskey 0033-105 and submit for reimbursement when the checks are completed. And $86,083.96 for equipment received and $14,522.84 for the Bobcat backhoe attachment when received.
Motion been moved and seconded to authorize these two payments. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, motion passes. Got one more motion?
Pay jet and
Make authorized payment from the general fund of $51,890 to CoStar's vendor AG Industrial. Invoice Bravo Sierra Lima 2024060 Delta Lima Whiskey for a packet Mike Golf 7 skid steer attachment paving machine when I received.
Second. Motion been moved and seconded to authorize payment upon delivery of the machinery. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, motion passes. Little side note to the Bobcats there and said, hey, you guys gonna have a check ready for us when we unload this? Can you imagine someone working for CoStars in a government agency saying, that, oh yeah, we'll have a check ready for you, can you go unload it? Are they, Anyway,
Nothing ventured, nothing
my
gained.
comments.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained, right?
Anything from the library committee?
Right.
Maybe it's the library. It's the land hunting permit.
Okay, I guess Allison sent out a copy of the waiver and the application. I had several comments on it, a few comments on it. One was well, the first part is the application and permit, right? And you're gonna keep it as a single document? I would have been inclined to have a document for the, I would have been inclined to have a document for the application, like that. And with the list that you have, of the, here. Got copy of it?
There's the thing, were there copies in everyone?
They were just emailed.
So are you suggesting you have the one side of the paper is one thing and then the list is on the back side?
Well, two, yeah, I mean, you probably have it in two documents, but,
Okay.
if Allison really wants it this way,
Well, the thing is that you have then all the pertinent contact information at the time of the application stays with the waiver in a file, so you know who.
you have one file, yeah, I have no big concern about that. The only part I have concern about is you put dates on there which are specific to just this 1 year for the archery season, that showed up at the bottom of it. All right, does that imply the waiver only is, right? I mean,
That
I see-
waiver is for forever, when you sign it, that waiver is. and
So,
it says
so when
it's-
somebody comes back the
2 years
second year, they don't have to sign a waiver?
That is, no, that,
There's one of my.
Well, well, the attorney wrote it, not us.
The office sign it with their information, so compliment,
Yeah.
their information,
Yeah.
you don't have to sign anyone
Yeah,
every
okay.
year. Because things change, and so that is forever for coming back to.
I think the attorneys were thinking, something happens in this year
Yeah.
in some dire event, like.
I wanted to make sure it wasn't just for the hunting.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that liability goes beyond the year of the
Because
permit.
first of all, in our ordinance, we allow them to put their tree stands up 2 weeks before and take them down 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
So what happens in those 4 weeks if something happens? If they're in the process of putting it up and they fall and they.
Well, the liability's gonna be there anyway, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, we ought to be waived, it
Yeah.
should be our
Well,
liability.
Well,
And the
hunt
other,
at your own risk,
Right.
put the tree stand up at your own risk.
yeah, so I just wanna make sure that waiver truly.
Waivers evergreen.
We will make sure, because Joan will do a final review of that.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I would ask Joan is, when it's unattended, and some kid comes walking through the woods and climbs up and falls off, he gets seriously hurt. Are we protected?
I don't know.
And that was the question I sent to her about 2 weeks ago.
So what happens if we don't give them permission to put up tree stands? That kills no hunters wanna come then?
It will greatly reduce the hunting.
How many do you think are gonna be there per season?
I don't know how many requests people called this past year.
There's one already called, I know that, and I said she has people, I already know people, so.
You think maybe 10, 20?
Yeah, in that ballpark.
Is this for non-citizen, non-St. Lawrence Borough residents too?
Yeah.
Anybody can,
Yeah,
right?
yes, we got a lot of residents that do border. the
Well, yeah, I
property,
understand that, yeah, but,
Most of our land is next to the township.
Yeah.
So, that was just one thing I wanted to make sure that we're covered.
Yeah.
In the last paragraph, it says, I will obey the rules and regulations of Berks County Department of Parks
Yeah,
and
that's
Recreation.
coming out.
it's coming out.
Yeah, because we haven't adopted them and Berks County has park rangers that enforce the rules and regulations.
Yeah, well,
So
yeah.
so adopting Berks County's rules and regulations
Yeah.
makes no sense.
Well, I just got printed it from today,
Yeah,
right? Berks County Parks Rules and Regulations, 3/4 of the way down says no hunting. I just, and then it says goes, and then it says, refer to it at the very bottom here, which didn't print, it says you can go to their ordinance. And in their ordinance, it has section 26 about hunting, and it says the only hunting that's permitted is with a controlled hunt.
okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's all in here.
That section is,
Okay.
So this is what happened when you ask questions and my mind starts going. So if you're having this concern about the tree stands.
Yeah.
Being left up, should we make it specifically in the permit that the tree stand doesn't come down within 2 weeks at the end of the season? They get charged $250 because we're gonna take it down.
That certainly could be
And they get no more permits to hunt. Council think, well, once again, I'm the anti-hunt guy, so you guys can paint me that way, but you're the one that brought up this liability of the kid climbing up on the tree
Oh,
stand.
sure. I
So,
realize.
so if tree stands are liability, let's get rid of them.
Yeah, I mean, certainly,
Yeah.
certainly we could have gone down if we wanted in the future, go down the same way Berks County went down, is you have no hunting except for.
Control hunt, yeah.
Control hunt, but they then go to, I don't know, PTNR or
Yeah,
whatever.
Where they have
Where they-
contractors.
They
or
have
approved-
contractors.
Approved entities or whatever.
And they have license, if you want to go down that road, you can go down there.
How high are typically tree stands? Once again, I'm a non-hunter, so I don't understand it.
Maybe 15 feet over
Yeah.
there.
So if you had to take a tree stand down, would it be easier just to cut the tree down?
No,
No, you
no, they come down.
I'm just asking. If we have to take tree stands down, I don't need the employees falling out on a line.
Okay.
But, you know, the other thing about the tree stand, I mean, if a kid wants to, they're gonna climb a tree.
Well, that's fine,
So-
but that's the, that's the opening, yeah, that's the feather, look, I can get that. Anyway, so does anybody have any concerns if we said, hey, tree stand must come down, you don't take it down, you're getting charged $250, and then guess what, no more permit.
Well,
Well,
I think we already have it in there, that if they don't abide by the ordinance, they can move to, right, to
Right,
getting a permit,
Yeah.
without necessarily dollars.
okay,
There, in the general hunting regulations that was at the end of this, it says no hunting on Sundays.
that takes away, 50% of your, for some people.
No,
Right.
it's not 50%, but the state allows archery hunting 3 Sundays,
Out of 4?
out of the whole season from mid-September to the end of January.
That's just gonna be hard to enforce, on
And,
our point,
right, right.
So, but having no Sundays makes it easy to enforce.
So I would be inclined to say, just say, honey, part of the regulations, it's state regulations, but it's up to.
I look towards former law enforcement there, what do you think?
It could be hard to enforce.
So it'd be easier to enforce no Sunday. But that, once again, I'm hammering.
I don't know why the PGC went with some Sundays you can, some Sundays you can't, and make that harder.
Yeah, well, there's actually potential legislation that's gonna even make,
You don't want to make all Sundays.
they want to make it all.
Yeah.
Moving to it.
And we have the authority to say,
Start land, we do whatever we
well,
want.
then why not just say, what's the,
Okay,
what's the,
but
about hunting on
yeah.
Sundays?
It's not in our ordinance, but.
Well.
But it's under our permits, what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
The
but
permit, yeah.
we,
Yeah.
like I said, I mean, guys that work all week, if they're just coming out archery on the weekend, if you say no Sundays, you just took half
Right.
Right,
half your hunting time
Yeah.
away.
But hunters generally respect the,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm not
There's a
saying-
voluntary, what's the line, voluntary compliance?
very high.
Yeah,
So I have no problem leaving the 3 Sundays there, but, personally, because if it's not a Sunday that's there, if they're gonna do on a Sunday that they're not supposed to, then they'll go out hunting tonight,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, which they're not doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, but, so I question the no hunting on Sundays. The number 7 on the general hunting regulations, it says firearms included but not limited to rifles and pistols are not permitted on borough property. Crossbows are allowed. The original one that Joan put in did not have the words on borough property are not permitted for hunting purposes. We have Bill Stoneman who has a shooting range up on his property. He has legal right to carry a gun.
Right.
And he wants to go, the only way he can get to his property is go across our property. So are we saying, we're saying here,
Right, so what are you suggesting then?
just leave it the way, you know,
Not allowed, you're not allowed to use it for hunting?
you're not allowed to use for hunting.
So this gives another question, in order to get to our property, that doesn't, where hunters don't go across other people's property, we only have one entrance. Right, to get into that?
Two. There are two.
So if someone shoots a deer, are they gonna be dragging across someone else's property to
They
get
have to
out?
do it with permission according to our ordinance.
Okay,
They can do it, but they have to do it with permission.
yeah, so the access,
Yeah,
certain
our
areas, yeah,
ordinance says-
otherwise they're dragging it out through the,
Our
through our-
ordinance says access is
the
only
tree.
through
yeah.
access from public roads, which is only, we only have 2 places on Church Lane and Adams Street.
Well,
Our church
yeah,
lane's not a public access.
there is no access
Well,
technically off of Church Lane, there is no road, and we can't
but we have road frontage on Church Lane.
we have road frontage, we just don't have a path through up into our lane. We have an easement, Joan sent the easement to Mr. Cook. And that easement is for borough employees only, that's the only roadway going up.
But if somebody wanted to walk across,
No,
walk up.
That would be on,
Not at the driveway, not at the road.
up in the woods from the side,
If they
yeah,
want-
if they know.
There is street frontage there.
There is street frontage,
That's
but
the only other place that, yeah, it's not practical, but technically it's something.
You get here going
Yeah.
out.
I don't wanna put a person that gave us a easement in a position where we now say you get off Church Lane and it looks quite
No.
obvious that's.
No, I'm not advocating for that.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't advocating for that. I'm just saying that there are only 2 places we have
Frontage, right.
frontage on public roads.
And then, another question, should we charge for the permit?
No.
Why not?
We have said that we weren't gonna charge when we did the ordinance back.
it's one thing that we could easily do is charge a fee according to Joe.
If I gotta pay $25 to take my brush somewhere, we're not gonna charge anybody a fee to go hunt? After paying for all this, for 10 people once a year? Seems like it's.
Well,
it's
that's
insane.
what you agreed to the last time.
I agree, I voted no on it last time, the record will show that. So, you know, so as a no vote, I'm allowed to bring up things, correct, under Robert's Rules of Order. You have heartache if we would charge $25 for a permit?
I know what it is, each of us gets a nice deer steak every day. That's the fee, you know what it is, just get a steak.
That's nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well,
I need
you
those too.
Because here's the thing, even like, the parks, state parks, if you go to a campsite, you pay for it. You know, I mean, those are state parks, but there's user fees to help cover the cost of the park ranger.
If you wanna charge,
I don't know,
yeah, I don't have, I would just go by what we
I
agreed
agree.
to previous.
But
Yeah.
we have to process this, there's staff time involved, so I don't see a problem with all of it.
Permit fee.
Yeah, permit, the permit,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you think, Don?
I don't know for a fact, but we last year at the trial run of this, we had a lot of people call, and they were told, well, we're not doing it this year.
Yeah.
Were they told that there'd be no fee for it?
We hadn't finalized anything yet. And wait till we tell them if they leave their tree stand up and get charged $250. You know, things get finalized, conceptual finalization, you know? What's a nominal fee? What do you think?
$10, cover the cost of the process.
10 people, $10, $100, you're gonna get offset all those expenses.
Well, I lost all of it, but
I understand.
part of administering public land is,
Yeah.
everybody should pay for that. But what I'm saying is the processing, the actual processing of each permit.
Yeah, there's always this thing about never give something away for free because you get too many people to sign up, and if you charge even a nominal amount, those are only really the people who are gonna do everything right. There's something, you know, I don't know where that concept comes from, but I know I've read that before, so,
I mean,
All this is council's
yeah, discretion. Discretion. Okay, so we need to make some modifications like this to send to Joe to clean up those items that you marked, so you can.
and we,
Did you scan those, we can just, you know, or leave them here, and we'll let Amanda send them in to Joan to work on?
yeah, we're gonna, well, you know about dropping the main thing was just dropping the Berks County. What are we gonna do about Sunday? What's the decision, well,
I honestly, it wouldn't bother me if guys were up there hunting every Sunday during the season.
I'm okay with just following the rules, whatever the state.
whatever the state rules are.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the way we.
Yeah, well, that makes it easier.
So why make it more difficult?
If we follow the state rules, the hunters are used to that.
Yeah, are you okay about the tree stand fee? That's the whole point.
No,
but
don't leave it interesting.
you leave your tree stand, you don't get a permit.
But you just told me some kid's gonna wanna climb it, and I'm thinking the liability got transferred. And all I did was charge the guy $10 to increase our liability.
I'm thinking of our time having to send someone over there to clean it up. I mean, if we're gonna go out there and say, we're gonna take it down if you don't do it, then we need to have some type of.
What's the cost of a tree stand? $100?
It's they go from $100 to $200.
So 250 is a high incentive to get your tree stand.
And on the other hand, how are we gonna get that money there?
Because we'll leave them.
It's a bit.
Yeah.
What trees are we using?
And their name, phone number, address, all has to be on the for.
Yeah.
Right,
Listen, you open this door. I'm just head down in this dark and getting shot by an archer.
Archery is almost no.
Yes.
Yeah. So Amanda, you take notes in, so we want this cleaned up for warrants things. We talked about a permit fee of $10. And then, $250, some wording in there that if you leave a tree stand up beyond 2 weeks, you owe us $250, we take a stand. No, you know, that's it, you know. You know?
Yeah. You make it too little, figure it out, and buy a new stand, it's cheaper.
Well, yeah. I need a new stand, I'll check that out.
Right, yeah. It is steep, but I guess that's the point.
And as far as the wording on the rifles and guns, I would leave that to Joan. You know, my concern is, does this mean we don't allow it on property?
I don't think so, because they're hunting one.
Yeah.
No, I think.
It's not even.
It's all in the ordinance, it's a permit, it's the
Yeah.
conditions of permit. Yeah.
So those are my comments. And I assume this part above the general hunting instructions will be the actual card that they're gonna have to.
Or
We're
you'll,
gonna have
or
a
you'll
separate card.
have a card. Ooh, shoot for that.
Oh,
Okay.
here, I'll pass them up, that's it.
There you go.
Legit. Is that worth more than $10? I didn't know we had that card. Okay, so, yeah, now we're talking about a land house card, I mean, a house. With the cost, what's
Well, I mean-
what's the cost of that card? Should we bump that permit fee?
Paper and whatever the lamp is.
Yeah, then if it is, that is. If indeed that is the card, what's the purpose of this card?
Because they're gonna get a copy of that has extra information on it that we're gonna keep.
Oh, so this is gonna be.
The file.
It's not part of one file.
Part of it, I'm gonna file all of it, plus they'll get all of that. Part of it is a file copy. Part of it, we didn't get it to final form yet, but was the application and the waiver stayed together, that gets filed, then the other is the piece that has the permit number and everything else on it, which is in an active notebook, so that you don't have to go back into the file, if there, and you click it, you have the information.
Yeah, the only other, getting down to the
We, in
trivial
the
stuff,
antlers,
but you have 2024 for the date you signed it. If I come in January 2nd, which is still during the archery season, I want to get a permit for the next 3 weeks. It's 2025, so now you've got to go and reprint and modify this to do it.
so
So I do it, I don't have a line with
It's
you.
a Word doc, it's,
I know, but why, just like you have on other places, you just say,
sign and date.
sign and date.
that's fine.
Yeah.
And you get rid of.
There, it's taken
Yeah.
care of.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color? Because I want the first year permits to be that color, so then the next year we change color, we know who complies.
Oh, well, I'll do that.
I would have-
You're the president.
Red, blood red.
I would love any color you choose.
Oh, you get beat up around here.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I looked up on, the gay.gov website.
Yeah.
A resident license is $6.97 for an ambulance here, a non-resident is $26.97. So you know,
Yeah.
take.
You get the state license.
But you take the difference between the two, it's $70, so then it was saying maybe 15, covers your cost and everything else.
Yeah, as I was gonna say, if we're gonna be issuing a laminated card, then maybe we need to bump our fee up to 15 to cover. What's really the cost of the card?
That's all the time.
Well, that's also the time.
But it's her time. It's her time.
Huh? 20 or 25, once again, you said it already, they're making me pay $25 to drive my weeds down to the recycling facility once a year. And their system is much more cryptic than what we are.
In the office, and give us your number and.
It's weird, so, I mean, yeah, let's just make sure we're not taking a loss on any of it.
Well, we can always, I don't care, as long as we have.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yes.
we're done.
Well-
Somebody make a motion
To do what?
Adjourn?
Oh,
to, what are the options gonna be? What's it, cause we need to
Whoever
give
makes the
it,
motion and decide to know.
or let us know if, because any rules would have to be,
I make a motion on $15 for the fee, because that's what is recommended by Amanda.
And,
the waiver on.
Okay,
Second.
motion moved second to move our, hunting permit fee to $15. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passed.
and what you'll get next month is there'll be a resolution for the fee schedule.
That here don't come.
That's all good.
And what, are we also gonna put something in about the tree stands?
Yes. So moves our motion to also amend our permit to mention if the tree stands left up remaining 2 weeks after the permit expires, it's a $250 fee.
And paid within 30 days.
I don't get, you know,
Well, cause we could end up with tree stands in here, and if they don't, then we can get rid of it. That would be.
although then if it's not paid within 30 days, it's going to be considered property of the borough.
All right, then we're a tree stand. You have that motion?
Yeah,
I'll second that.
motion moved and seconded concerning tree stands in the hunting permit. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Bob did.
Warren, would it have been cheaper just for us to hire someone to kill all the deer?
Well, certainly, as I said earlier, you can do that. In fact, even groups will give you payment.
Yeah, we gotta make money off of it.
We could
That
have,
exclusive right to bring it in.
It's like they do with the elk and the moose and all that.
When one of those group members comes to the next meeting, maybe we'll entertain that unsolicited bid for deer haul,
we could, Now that you've decided, I can tell you why no Sundays for hunting would be nice, because if they follow the rule and go up Adams Street, Pine Avenue is gonna be park full, Adams Street's gonna be park full, and they're the two streets that can least handle parking. And the people who park, who hunt, aren't really good about keeping to the side of the road. And up Adams Street, we have to make sure that that stays clear for emergency vehicles to get up through there, or our vehicles, because there's not a whole lot of space all the way up through there to handle people parking on the side of the road.
Duly noted.
So it is going to impact the people who live up there,
And
who have their cars parked along the roadway.
and they'll be calling us to ticket. Recreation, anything?
Playground's open, reports of attendance between 25 and 30 in the morning and 30 to 40 in the evening. The touchy truck was well received last night. We had some scant attendance early on, that was due to one of our playground attendees' birthday party. Once the party broke up, they came up to the playground, from what I've been told. So, things are moving along very nicely at the playground.
That wasn't one of the leaders' party, was it?
No, no. And the one lady that needed CPR first aid training obtained that along with two members of the road crew at Borough Union Fire Company. So everybody's trained.
Thank you. Planning Commission meets on the 22nd to talk about the
Met
Met.
on May 22nd, and
Oh.
we're scheduled to meet again.
I think it's the 26th.
Okay.
And what's that for?
Well, me.
What plan
Oh, yeah.
do you?
Sorry. General comments, any comments? Because we talked about zoning hearing board and stuff going back to zoning hearing board also.
The zoning hearing board is not active yet. We still have to get a variance application from the sign people. They were sent the application. I believe that they're probably just waiting. They were very enthused to have council and planning commission endorsement of the sign plan before they go. Oh, sorry, I didn't, and so I think that that's probably gonna be forthcoming because the sign stuff is part of their phases to the facade, so.
On top of the level.
All right. General comments, public meeting, haven't heard any from online. Any other public comments from council members?
Yeah, the joint comprehensive plan, you know, between.
Amity,
Amity,
Exeter.
Exeter, and Douglas,
Yeah.
has restarted. They got the grant money finally and everything else. We had one short meeting.
Who's the engineering firm doing that?
Well, it's being headed by the.
Planning Commission, Berks County Plan.
Yeah, Dave Hunter and one of his people. The only thing in St. Lawrence, as I said, you know, we talked about is we have virtually no impact on it. The only things that are being, they talked about before was the shopping center, and it's being addressed now to be fixed up to bring more business in and stuff, making it more attractive for businesses. The other thing that was discussed was the Wolf Creek Dive property. Here you have an industrial zone, which really should not be an industrial zone anymore.
Yeah.
And, we should be really thinking of having that zoning change because.
Engineer, we want to work on getting us a zoning change for the next meeting.
We're planning to do an overhaul of the entire zoning ordinance.
Yeah,
I don't think that anything's gonna happen down there in the short term, so there's no need for.
Yeah. Or give us some options of what you think it could be and move to.
We already have allowed C10 and the I1 and I2, and so if you wanna keep it commercial, but everybody walks away because it's in the floodplain, and that is healthily in the floodplain.
The other thing, just before the meeting, we were chatting about the shopping center and also employees, potential employees getting to the shopping center. So Warren, can you bring up to the joint plan, the public transportation is lacking in the borough?
Okay.
Yeah, it's, and Allison said there's
There's-
nothing, there's
no-
absolutely nothing.
It's at the auto zone. It's
Yeah, right,
it's about as close to Mount Penn as it can be. And that is,
people walking up and down the road.
yeah, that is the only bus stop in the borough.
And that's a steep hill, so I think that if they can circulate, put, into the borough, have a number of.
Yeah, if that's come down, go to the shopping center, go
Yeah.
to the.
I'm sure that they probably stop up on the avenue and that people who live in the garden apartments,
Sure.
Probably.
Downtown here. that
Yes.
Main transportation, and it's not, fair to them if they don't have vehicles.
Yeah, it could be somebody, anybody
there's,
working at,
there's
light
people
pole or
who-
something,
There's
or,
people who walk. We see people walking up too.
Okay, so can you add that?
yeah, I will,
Thank you so much.
I will bring that up.
Is there something else we could do? Could we, send a letter to Barta?
Well, they're not Barca
So
anymore.
that's all a part of the language.
Oh, we're not land federal.
And when they were Barca, I sent a letter to them and it was blown off.
They're still operating as Borda and Atlanta, but.
Lanta manages Barta.
So there's an umbrella, it's South Central Transportation,
Okay.
that runs both Atlanta and Borda.
Yeah, well, when I sent the letter, it was still just.
Let's send another letter, just to see. Cause then at least we'll be on, record, making this request into the planning and stuff like that.
Copy of state house reps, because they'd like to, allow sometimes for grants. Issues, so it can't hurt to.
Is that okay with council? Full with that?
fine.
Okay, our next public meeting is at St. Mark's Borough Hall. The office is closed on July 4th and 5th. Are we being like super generous when it's July 4th, on a Tuesday? Thursday?
It's a Thursday.
And so like, it's a national holiday on that Friday?
We didn't have Juneteenth off, so what's your point?
That's your floater, whether you take it on June 19th.
Oh, nobody has said anything about a floater.
Playground is closed on July 4th, so they have to be here on the 5th?
Well, there's kids who have nothing to do, so.
Yeah.
There's probably residents that have the 5th off and want to come to the Borough Hall too.
They have
The fifth is when they traditionally do the July 4th celebration, but
Okay.
at the playground, if they do,
I see those reasons for an executive session. Is there any old business or new business, or is there a motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn.
Motion been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion is approved. Thanks for all your time. I'm gonna get me a honey. Who's the number?
If I don't have a vote, but I gotta have one Moran, but I got six, that's a good one.
No.
Not allowed on that borough property, man.
You're on. I can just go up and use the bank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that, I'll put it exactly what we're doing. And you're okay.
And I'm glad to see that.
Yeah.
I did, I don't know what I was doing.
So, did